What's going on, people? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's going on, Muhammad? I see you. RB in the building. What's going on? What's happening? Oh shit. Yeah. Uh, so I want to get on here. I want to talk a little bit more about this war situation. I just seen Iran just hit a US base over there. Uh and I'm just sitting back and I like to watch everybody, commentary on this. And there's a couple things that I realize that I just, you know, when you when you're going through school and you're learning about history and you're learning about all these different wars and you talk to like the elders, that may have been around at that time and um experience what was going on at the time and the effects of those different wars. Um, and then obviously other wars that obviously you can't talk to those people because they was all long gone by the time you came about. But just learning about these wars, different wars and everything, is kind of like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? And you kind of get a picture in your head, of okay, well, what you know what I'm saying? What if war happens while I'm alive? And what is that going to look like? And how is that going to come about? And what is it going to be about? What's going to be over? What are they going to be fighting about? And, there's all these different questions and things that floods the mind. And as you get older and you start experiencing and living life, while wars are going on, and you see the effects of it, you see the damage it can do, and all these different things, right? So then it comes to a point where how do you look at it? As people who have not been in war, like been in the military, went to war, had to do and see some things that a lot of us will never be able to comprehend, you know. Um, but just from a person that, never put on the uniform, I can't concentrate or worry about that. But what I have to put my concern on and concentrate on is the effects that come from wars. Some people say, yeah, you should go do war, woo, 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 and yeah, show them who's boss and all this. And some say, well, yeah, well, we need to do this and we need to do that. So yeah, that has, what I'm saying? Then you have other people say, no, we don't need to do that because what's the purpose of it? What do we gain out of it? You know what I'm saying? Like all these different questions come across the board. Everybody's kind of like splitting. You got people on their stance. But this is a stance that should not
be a divisive one. And that should be the effects of war. Too many times we worry about why they're going to war, what we're doing over there. They should do this and do that, and just all this stuff, right? But yet the conversation about the effects of it is like it's almost not even part of the conversation. Because at the end of the day, it don't make a difference what you stand on, what you believe in, whatever the case may be. It does not matter, because effects of war is going to affect you regardless. Regardless. Do you think a person who had a business, making good money, having a good life, chilling, you know what I'm saying, got a beautiful family and all that, never didn't have to have a worry, you know what I'm saying, bills paid, credit good, everything straight. And then Afghanistan happened. Then a recession happened. Then the banks closed. People lost their jobs, businesses, homes, all that. I've gone over this 1,000 times. This stuff happens. These are the effects of war. Because where you think the money's coming from for countries to fight wars, they're not paying for it. We're paying for it. That's what seems to get lost in the sauce. We are paying for these wars. We're paying for these missiles to be launched. We're paying for boats and everything else to go on them seas. We're paying for all these tanks and stuff to go across land to shoot off bombs and grenades and all these different types of equipment and stuff that we use in war. We pay for that, not them. We do. So what ends up happening is the economy takes a massive hit. And then when the economy takes a massive hit, what then ends up happening is now you don't have no money circulating, because now you're going to have to start cutting programs and cutting this and cutting that, because you have no money to pay for that stuff. So now, because the money has been transferred into the weapons used in war, the big planes that carry the soldiers in it, who you think pays for that? We do. And like we literally coming out of the Clinton regime, nobody wasn't hurting for money like that. Yes, there were still issues, you know what I'm saying, but people weren't going around talking about, oh, I got the money. You know what I'm saying? It's like nobody was really complaining about money. The struggle is always going to be there regardless, you know what I'm saying? But nobody wasn't complaining about money, right? Then Bush comes in, then these wars start. You know what I'm saying? Just sending the troops into Saudi Arabia on that false mission. Y'all realize how much money that costs just to do that? You know? That's what the conversation needs to be about. Because what they're going to do over there, that's what they're going to do over there. And regardless of how we feel about it, we have to concentrate on how do we stay afloat while all this is going on, because guaranteed, everybody's going to take a hit. However long this goes on, we're going to take a hit. And considering the economy is already in shambles as it is, it's not going to take long for, you know what I'm saying? Because we're already on the verge of a recession as it is. As it is. So, but they don't think about that. They just like, no, this is what we need to do. Okay, we need to do that. All right, cool. What about tomorrow? What about the next day? What about the day after that? What are you going to do if you go to work one day and your boss tells you, well, I'm sorry to inform you, but I'm gonna have to let you go because the company that took a massive hit because they can't bring in the money because the money that the company was bringing in is now being transferred into going into war. Let's see. Look at these comments. Yeah, I heard something about that. I think it has something to do with what I'm talking about. Nah, they should. But think about this. Think about this. Daniel, what's going on? CNT, hey, what's going on? How you doing? Hey, what's going on? The first, what's going on? Raul Raja. What's funny? what's I'm a foolish person. Hey, mods, you know what I'm saying? Get this idiot up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, how, like, what the hell? That don't make any sense. That don't make any sense. You know, actions, what's going on? I see you. So, you know, and you could just look at the course of history and see that this is the effects of war. World War I, World War II, in conjunction with the Great Depression. Don't even get me started on the Vietnam War and how that vastly affected what happened over here. And let's not talk about the other Iran war that was going on back in the day. You know? So we see all these things, we study, we learn and all this, but yet that part of the conversation seems to be the least added. And I'm trying to figure out why is that conversation. Now, yes, you have protesters and people that come out against the war, and some of the stuff gets brought up, but it's not part of the conversation. The conversation is, well, we're the United States of America, and this is going on, so we need to go handle that. Handle it. Does it make sense for us to go over there and do that? That's the first thing. Doesn't make sense. How is this going to affect us over here? You know. And then the thing about it too is, and this is the funny part, and this is something that I have not heard. I brought it up, and I still haven't heard. Matter of fact, I brought it up last night. I still haven't heard. Donald Trump, during his first term as president, going into his second term as president, this man said, I will never have us in a war. I will be able to fix everything. The Russian-Ukraine war, I will have fixed in 24 hours. We're just gonna act like we didn't. We're just gonna act like the man didn't just say that, right? We're not just gonna act like this is one of the reasons why he got elected the first time and he got reelected this time. We're just gonna act like he just did not say that. We're just gonna act like that did not happen. We're just gonna act like this was just, oh, the Democrats made that up. He didn't really say that. The Democrats made that up. For a man that comes out and constantly says that I can fix everything, we don't need to get into conflict. I'm a negotiator. I'm a businessman. I can do it all. And this is another one of these, like, doing, like, doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, doing, like, you just get hit in the head, doing, like, huh? See, I crack up when they say, "Oh yeah, he's a great businessman. He makes so many deals and stuff like that." I'll be like, "Y'all know how many? Y'all realize how many bankruptcies he's got? You realize how many foreclosures he's got on his record? You realize all y'all? But he's a good businessman, right? Okay. Oh yeah, he got the tax plan. All this for the benefit of who? Oh, yeah. Oh, what healthcare? What, a good businessman should be able to get healthcare straightened out, right? But you see, the thing that I was bringing up last night was ego. Ego drives all of this. Common sense doesn't, because common sense will tell you this was another lie this man has just said. You see, you let people talk long enough, the truth comes out. Sometimes you don't have to say anything. You just like, just like my daddy said, just put your hands up. Just put your hands up and just don't say nothing. Just like, you got it. You got it. Just put your hands up. You got it. You got it. Because eventually the truth is going to come out. And this man, once again, has shown his hypocrisy, has shown he has lied yet again to the American people. One of the reasons why this man got voted, one of the reasons why people went out and voted for this man was because they believed that he was not going to have us in some type of conflict or war. This is what they're going on. And when he becomes president, there's already a couple wars going on, right? All right. We don't put that on him, but now the onus does come on him because now he is president, right? Okay. So we got that going on. And remember, 24 hours, right? 24 hours for the Russia-Ukraine war, right? Okay. We are now in June. Okay. Oh yeah. I'm gonna be handing out some new wrenches here soon. You have said something about not another channel, so please continue. It all ties in together. Okay, for sure. Yeah, I got you. Oh damn. Yo, as soon as I end this, when I end this, I'll hook you up. Because I don't have my other device with me. So now we have, it's like 2 more wars done popped up or whatever, right? So now we have this going on. But this man said, no, we're not. You will never have to worry about going to war as long as I'm president. I'm not making this stuff up. This is stuff you can go and pull up. These are this man's words, not mine, not somebody else's, not the Republican Party, not the Democratic Party, not the Independent Party, not 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 the dog around the corner that goes around, you know what I'm saying, just trying to find something to eat, not the homeless person down the street that is just trying to find a way so they can have a roof over their head and healthy food to eat. You know what I'm saying? Not the employee at the grocery store. Nobody. This man said this. This man has gone against so much of what he said. And I know what people are going to say. Oh, well, people can change their minds, and based on what. Yes, people can change their mind. But you see, the problem with him is he opened up his mouth and said that he can fix anything. He opened up his mouth and said that he can fix stuff without us getting into war or some type of conflict. This man said this. So we can't hold him on the same plateau as other people. Because this man has literally time and time. His supporters have even come out and rehashed this type of stuff. They regurgitate it every chance they get. They love to throw up Russia and Ukraine in Joe Biden's face. They love to throw up Israel and Hamas in Biden's face. But when it comes to this, no, Trump, you go get them and this, that, the third. And it's just like, what? And this is the reason. This is one of the reasons why America is in the shambles is in, because we have people who have this thought process and they ignore the other stuff that will actually affect each and every single one of us. Don't make a difference what color he is, because in America, it's a melting pot. And when America is at war, guess who suffers? Guess who takes the hit? Not them. No, it's the soldiers that gotta leave their families and go into these wars and get into these battles and hoping that they can make it back in one piece. Some come back, but some come back with half of themselves, literally. And what about them? You know what I'm saying? The effects that they have to go through. The PTSD that affects them. And then the rest of us, oh, well, the check is about a few $100s show. Your child can't go get their teeth done or can't go get glasses or can't go see the doctor because they don't have money to provide for health care. Or the programs, if they're going through some like a government, like welfare, but they can't go do that because that's been cut, because that money has been reallocated into the war. See, it's easy to say, oh yeah, we need to go do this and that and third, but how is it going to affect the kids? How is it going to affect the kids? How is it going to affect you? How are you going to keep a roof over your head? See, a lot of people forget when them banks took that hit, and a lot of them banks have to close up and stuff, and them people that have money in them banks, like those are the things that people need to think about more than the actual war itself, because we can't do nothing about that. That's out of our hands. But what's not out of our hands is what we can do here. Congress' job is here. President's job is there. there she goes. What's going on? Glad you made it. Oh, we talking about Trump and in these wars. CNT, I get that a lot. It's either a red man or it's method man. I've gotten that for years. Yes, keep men boots on the ground. Yeah, same plateau. What do you mean? um, you know, everything that we go through is going to be different than what they go through. You know, we too many times we try to put ourselves at like the same level as the government, right? And we're not. See, when you're working in government, you got all the advantages that the rest of us don't have. You know, now what type of government job you have also matters, because even certain government jobs come in jeopardy when war is taking place, because some of that money might need to get reallocated into that. Now, I'm just curious about something. How much money do y'all think it cost us for Trump to send those missiles over there? Because I know it wasn't, a couple $100. It was a few thousand. I should ask how many millions? Billions, you know. Because the things, see, and this is the problem. Once again, the things that is hurting this country are the things that we're not discussing, are the things that we're not putting at the front of the table. We're always putting things that we have no control over at the front of the table and then trying to figure it out. No, you can't figure that out. The only thing you can figure out is what you have control over. But that's the other problem. People don't know what they actually have control of. People don't know what actual power they do have. So that's when you get a lot of dick pulling and ass kissing. Because if you don't know and you can't think for yourself and be on that, then you're going to get wrapped up in the bullshit that they feed you. And then it just continues on and on and on and on. And then you have a whole lineage of this. That's why nothing ever gets accomplished out here. Because instead of dealing with what needs to be dealt with, no, we're just gonna, we'll put a distraction up there, or we'll put a little band-aid on it. You know what I'm saying? Just cover up the little boo. You know what I'm saying? You'll be okay. We'll put a little Neosporin on it. You know what I'm saying? Put that over there. Put some icing on it. Pop a couple of others. Ibuprofen. Everything will be okay. The one thing I have definitely focused on more is the bullshit. You get a lot of you get a lot of bullshit fed to you, right? And a lot of it we end up eating, whether it's by choice or not by choice. We end up eating. And then when you eat the bullshit, now you become the bullshit because now you spitting off all the same bullshit that was fed to you. And as I sit back and I continue to watch all of this, and I should say to myself, one's opinion is one's opinion. But when it's the obvious, why ignore that? Because we all have opinions and feelings on things, right? But when it's the obvious, that should not be ignored. And the obvious always gets ignored. Not by the masses, it gets ignored. By the small group of us that actually pay attention to it and actually speak out on it and acknowledge it. Because people don't take the time to like, oh, okay, I didn't realize that. You know. Now they might say, oh yeah, is that right? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Oh. And then probably will not go and look up what was just brought to them. I like to take everything that I hear from anybody, any type of information. I will go and I will look. I might not do it that day. Hell, I might not even do it that week, but I will eventually do it. You know, because it's important to be aware of as much as possible. As much as possible. Nothing can be ignored. And regardless of what you believe in or what you stand on or whatever the case may be, nothing should be off the table. You're supposed to look. If God gave you a brain to learn, God gave you a brain to think. Don't use the thinking part without using the learning part. Too many times people think, but they don't learn. You know what happens when that happens? You sound stupid at the end of the day. Because now you're sitting here talking on something, but you didn't even learn what you're talking about. There's a whole nother section of what you're talking about, and you just over here just like blabbing on the blah, blah, blah. No. Thinking and learning goes hand in hand. Because when you're learning, you're thinking. And the more you think, the more you learn. You got people that will go with the Old Testament. Oh, yeah, this is what we're supposed to go by because this is the original and this is da 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 da. Oh, no, we got to go by the New Testament because things have changed and we got da 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 da. Neither one want to take the time to learn, understand why. Because when you think and you learn and you learn and you think, understanding comes in about. Not an agreement, but an understanding. Because when you understand something, you don't do it. I guess you could. Now I see you. I see you. Yo, Corrupt, what's going on? Salute. Yo, Fetty, what's going on, man? Hey, how are you holding up, man? How's everything going with you? Yeah, I guess my main account is blocked. Just wanted to send my family. Oh yeah. Um. Oh, your other one. You know what? It shouldn't be, but I'll go take a look. And if it is, I'll get that unblocked for you. But thank you though. Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing the same for you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's whew, you know, it's a lot, you know. So, you know, it's that's where the problem lies. See, we're so busy trying to do so much that we don't take the time and like, hold on, let's get to the core of the matter. Like, let's get to the core. Let's stop everything we're doing. Let's rewind this all the way back to the beginning. How did this even go about? The mind frame, the thought process. Like, how did we get here as people? Not taking away anybody's opinions, but the thought, the thinking. Because the thinking is what drives you to do the things that you believe in, the things that you stand on. But now, if somebody comes up to you and asks you to elaborate on that, well, how do you go about that? Are you able to elaborate to that person what it is? And most people can't. And the reason why they can't, because it goes back to the learning. Yeah, you might have learned this part of it. That's cool. But as time moves on, as generations and society changes, did you learn anything along the way of that? Because all of that is information, knowledge that you need. You can't live in 2025, right? And be acting like it's 1975. Motherfuckers ain't walking around here with afros and bell bottoms and plaid shirts and, you know, going to see Saturday Night Live, you know what I'm saying? Saturday night, or going or pulling up to the hamburger joints, the drive-in joints, you know, pulling up and, you know what I'm saying, pressing the thing. Yo, can I get a double cheeseburger? You know what I'm saying? Girl come out in skates, you know what I'm saying, with the little skirts on, like, you know what I'm saying? It's not happening. It's not happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, people ain't riding around in pimp toes. You know what I'm saying? With 8 tracks in them. Nah. You have to go with the times. If you don't go with the times, you will be left behind. But the one thing that does not change is the effects of war. The WWE has this event coming up on Saturday. Saturday, it's Saturday or Sunday. It's in Saudi Arabia. Now, with all the conflict going on over there in the Middle East, the show is in jeopardy. Question is, should they move? Should they stay? I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't know what this version of WWE would do, but I know if Vince McMahon was still running the whole show, he would stay. And it's crazy because I thought it was crazy when he originally did the when he started doing the tribute to the troops. Y'all remember where they had the event at? The war was going on just like a few miles up the road. They weren't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember, I think it was like 03, it was. Like, you can hear the bombs going off in the background while this event is going on. You know what I'm saying? But he, like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like why are you having an event over there? Like, the people, if I'm over there, I'm not thinking about no wrestling. I'm thinking about how can I keep my family safe? That's what I'm thinking about. How can I keep my family safe? But you see, this is goes back to the thing of, you know what I'm saying? People will be more worried about what they don't need to be worried about. Like, if I was running a show, I canceled the whole event. I would cancel the whole event. I'll tell everybody, come back to America. You know, just come on back. Because I'm not about to put my life, I'm not about to put my employees' life, I'm not about to put nobody's life in jeopardy just so I can put on a damn wrestling show. I'm not gonna do it. But the ego will. The ego will. You remember that word I was talking about last night? Ego? Yeah, the ego will. Hello. They took the cool air from us. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. You know, we can't see them physically, but we know that they're around us. They're looking down on us. You know, we just got some extra protection. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, my dad's going through something. Hold on. Go ahead. Let me hook pops up real quick. Boom. Oh, my son's going through something. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me hook my son up. Boom. No. Safety is number one priority. It is. Because of all the crazy stuff that we have seen over the years. Imagine like whether it's a boxing match, a wrestling match, just some outdoor event going on. And you sitting there, you watching on TV and you're enjoying it. And all of a sudden a bomb just comes out. Boom, or like a missile or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the reality that we live in today. Now, back in the day, yeah, unless you lived in one of them countries, you know, we weren't saying that over here, you know, so much. You know, But this is what I say. Ignorance allowed 9/11 to happen. Being too comfortable in thinking that this land can't get hit. Because this is the other thing that a lot of people tend to forget about. While, yes, we may be at war, we may be at conflict with this country, that country, whatever. Y'all realize some of our United States officials are actually working with those countries? Backdoor deals, secret meetings, all that good stuff. Because some say that 9/11 was an inside job. Okay, let's go with that. Let's go with that. Let's say it was an inside job. Let's say, okay, there were American officials that had something to do with 9/11. Okay, well, let's look at that. Okay, that's the case. Then why isn't people more worried than they should be? Because I guarantee you, those people that lost their lives that day, before they walked out that door, you know what they did? They asked the Lord for them to get to work, have a good day at work, and get back home. Common prayer, right? Then look what happened. They was either getting crushed inside the building when the towers came down, or they was one of the people that jumped out of the window, jumped off the side of the building. Or even worse, the ones that may not have died that day, but they ended up getting sick and passing away later on. So if we go on the premise it was an inside job in conjunction with what they had going on, why are we acting like this stuff can't happen again? This is where Americans drive me up the wall. Because we're literally sitting here acting like we can't get touched. But yet 9/11 says we did. Regardless now let's go on the premise it was an inside job, right? It was all Bin Laden. Bin Laden orchestrated that. Okay, well, in 1999, in 2000, right before 2001, go into 2001, all the months prior to September 11th, we're all thinking the same thing. We can't get touched. We're the United States of America. Ain't nobody stupid enough to do something over here. Then 2 planes went into the World Trade Center. Oh, but we forget that in 1993, they tried to bomb the World Trade Center. Remember them backpacks? Backpack. You remember them backpacks? I think it was like one went off and then the other 2 malfunctioned. But we just moseyed along, acting like, nope, we can't get touched. Oh, my goodness, how can I forget? The bomb, the Boston bomb. Oh, my God. So why are we sitting here acting like we're so? This shit happens right here in our backyard, but yet we're still acting like we can't get touched. And these are events that have happened showing it don't make a difference. Yes, we can't get touched. If they can't get across them walls, across them waters, over into this land, they already got people in here in place to take it from the inside. But we're just acting like we can't get touched though, right? But then this is the funny thing. But then you get these same people that will sit up here and say, well, this is why they have to go because you know they probably gonna bomb us out here or you know what I'm saying? All the things that they say that they're worried about why they shouldn't be here, but then they sit here and act like they can't do anything about it. We can't get touched. What? How does that even make any sense? Oh, you changed your the name? King Family Fun. What's going on? I like that. King Family Fun. You know, it's like that. Let me put this into a comparison. I think we all can understand. You remember how we all used to think Suge Knight couldn't get beat up, couldn't get touched? Suge Knight was just a big bad bully. Yeah, oh, be scared of Suge. Yeah, don't want to. Yeah, Suge. Yeah. And then what happened?
You desire, huh? You desire, huh? You seen that girl in bed?
Mm-hmm.
Still, you're still. He just jumped in the backyard and grabbed a doobie. And I'm like, hey.
Well, over here?
In our backyard. I'm like,
oh,
hey.
hell no. Nah.
I'm like, hey. She just froze. I'm like, really? Like, what you, I'm like, put that down. What you doing?
Yeah.
She don't say nothing. Hop the fence. Put the doobie down on the fence. Hop the fence because she don't want to break the doobie. Grab the doobie. And then ran about. You seen him run?
Oh, hell no. Nah. Yeah, that's just a no-go. Yeah, that's a no-go. We ain't about to do that. Um, damn. Okay. See, see, I don't like that. See, so let me get back to what I was talking about. So, damn, that threw me all the way off too. But we gotta stop. Oh yeah, so I was talking about the Suge thing. So yeah, Suge this big bad dude, and then somebody that was shorter than him whooped him. Just got on him. You not smiling now? You not smiling? You just smiling. Ah. You know, so and we all know it don't make a difference how big you is. You know, how many times have we seen bullies You know, says, yeah, and get whooped up on. How many times? So we can't just sit here and act like we can't get touched, because we can get touched. Even if it don't come from one area, it's gonna come from right inside of this land right here. And with having these people over here fighting amongst themselves, that shit could spark up. They could spark up their own little war right here in our own land. That's gonna spark it's like we can't. We gotta stop being ignorant to this. We got to. We gotta stop acting like we slipped on a banana peel and bumped our heads. It's getting real out there. And first thing that's going to do is going to hit your pockets. So the best thing that we can hope for is this doesn't get dragged out too much longer. Because we've already taken big hits, because Biden and his administration sending all that damn money over there to help Ukraine out. You know, like, come on now. So, but I'm about to jump off here. I might come back on tonight at some point. We could talk some wrestling, you know, because I got a lot of thoughts, about what's going on in both companies. So, with that said, I will see y'all later. Until then, peace.